Welcome to the April 5th meeting of the Board of Parks and Recreation Commissioners. We will begin with approval of the minutes of the March 22nd meeting. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Resolution number 30602, or 03, considering board approval of contract with Landworks Studios for Phase 1 Shoto Native American Fountain Design Project.
Yes, Commissioners, this is a project that we've been working on to build a fountain along Shoto, or somewhere in the Shoto area, and we went through a design process, and Landworks is the design firm of choice. Travis is here if you have any questions on design, and beyond that, the representatives here today also are Councilman Dick Davis, who is chairing the fundraising committee, and Mr. Keith Nelson, who conceived of the idea, and he's kind of been the person that brought life to this project, and we're very, very excited about it. And if any of those gentlemen would like to speak, please do.
Come forward, please. Jumped.
Yeah, you're fine. I thought you did it because they wanted to go.
Yeah, they do.
Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, I'm Dick Davis, 5826 North Kensington. Really excited about this project, delighted to have the leadership of your agency taking a role in making this happen. As a Northlander for 50 years, I am so proud of some of the improvements we've made, but when I look around my neighborhood in the last 30, the greatest advances in the Northland have been things that came out of your department. Show Creek Parkway, Shoto Traffic Way, just great improvements, and your leadership made it happen. Particularly proud of Shoto Traffic Way, where we've done a marvelous job of transforming a former poorly maintained transit way into a beautiful parkway, and now it's time to start embellishing it. So I think this fountain will be one of those opportunities to do exactly that. We think eventually we can raise $1 million to provide this fountain. So the first thing we need to do is, the City Council made funds available for a planning study and to select a site. We've got 4 good locations to look at, so we're anxious to get this started. A team of our committee reviewed consultants and select what we think is an outstanding firm to do this work, so we'd urge your approval. With me today is Keith Nelson, who is the really mind behind this, the guy that's been the advocate all along and done a great job in making sure that we've come this far. So thank you.
I'm Keith Nelson. I live at 4543 North Bennington. You heard our spokesperson here. I'm just here in support of it. I'm real excited about this, the next major step that we need to advance this project. So looking forward to getting down to the plan and run a shovel in the ground on this. So thank you very much for your support.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval of a resolution 30603.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Back up to the first item on the agenda, considering board approval of a memorandum of understanding with the City of Kansas City, Missouri for public school properties transfer.
Yes, Commissioners, this MOU and agreement actually involves 3 parties. One, of course, is the Park Board, the other is the Neighborhood Department of City Government, and of course the school district. And you have a memo in your packet from Travis that spells out the details in relationship to this MOU. And also I'd like to introduce Nicole Collier-White, who's with us today, and she's with the Kansas, Missouri School District.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. Thank you all for having me today. I know you previously worked with Shannon Jackson. She does send her apologies. She's actually at a conference in Arizona, so you get to see me today. The school district is really excited about moving this MOU forward. I've spoken with a lot of our community members recently, and they're just excited to have some energy back in their neighborhoods. They're ready to remove these blighting influences and really just engaged in the process. And so we're just really appreciative of you allowing us to present this to you today and look forward to moving forward. Thanks.
All right. Does staff have any comments? Mark?
No, I think it's, I will mention that, there's 3 sites that are coming our direction, Ashland, McCoy, and West Rock Creek. The other one's spelled out, for example, Chick and Willard. That's going to neighborhood community services. And Lonna's been working on this closely.
And this is non-binding, I mean, and every transfer of property will be a separate deed, real estate agreement. But it's just, we wanted to make sure that we got everything in MOU, what was expected of both parties, and that we're working towards that goal.
Okay, very good. Any further questions, any further discussion? Do I hear a motion for approval of resolution number 30602?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great.
Okay. Resolution 30604, considering board approval for an agreement with USA Cycling, Inc.
Yes, Commissioners, you have a memo from Terrence, and he's here to address any details, answer any questions, and introduce our guest.
Please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We have here today the 2016 Tour of Kansas City. Their event's going to take place at Kessler Park, Cliff Drive, as well as a museum on June 4th. And we have here today Brent Yu that would like to say a few words.
Yeah, I'm Brent Hugh. I'm Executive Director of the Missouri Bicycle and Pedestrian Federation. And we're very happy to be able to bring this event back to Kansas City. It's the 53rd year, so it's a historic event. The Cliff Drive location is probably the most kind of iconic location. It's actually a 4-day event, so it includes several days of bike races. We have everyone from sort of amateur youth through professional level bike racers coming in. And that's where the Cliff Drive, that sort of gooseneck hill going up, and there's kind of a loop, and that's the thing that they've been using for several years. But it also includes beer and barbecue fest, Grand Fondo, which is kind of a high, first Grand Fondo in Kansas City. It's a bike ride, it's kind of higher quality than average, and so it's certainly one of our biggest bicycle events of the year in Kansas City, and we're very happy to be able to, since it's the Tour of Kansas City, it's been in Lee's Summit, it's been in Olathe, it's been here and there, but we like to keep at least the bulk of it in Kansas City, and so we really appreciate the parks' help in making that happen. Bringing it to Cliff Drive is hard in some ways, but it's wonderful, and so thank you for that. And any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions? How many participants do you expect?
We generally figure on about 2,500 altogether. That's between, racers come, and this draws people from all over the Midwest anyway, if not all over the country, to do the races. So we had people from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Oklahoma, all of that. So that's for the races. But then like a 5K run in the Grand Fondo, that will attract several hundred bike riders just from all over the area, as well as Kansas and Missouri. And then a lot of people, then the barbecue fest, of course, people who like barbecue. But then we just have a lot of people come down and just watch the races. That's a great thing. You can come down and spend all sort of day, Saturday and Sunday, just watching races. They're fast, they're fun, and it's completely free for anybody. So it's wonderful in the sense of our paid participants. We had a record last year, about 75% of them came from outside the metro area, which was great. And yet it also attracts people from all over the metro area for the free and sort of citizen parts of it. So it's a great event from all those. It's sort of like if you could come and watch a Royals baseball game, but also you had the chance to play a few innings yourself, and so it's everything from the highest level athletes down to normal people get to participate.
Yeah, great.
Well, it's great to have it up there with the museum too.
Yeah, the museum's a great venue for, that's where the barbecue and beer fest will be, and that worked out really well last year, so I loved it. So.
Any other questions? Hearing none, do I hear a motion for approval of resolution number 30604?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Brett.
Resolution 30605, considering board approval for agreement with Penn Valley Conservancy for Plein Air Fest.
Yes, another one that Terrence is handling, and another guest to go introduce.
How you doing, Commissioners, again?
Sure.
This will be the third year that the Plein Air Festival will be in Penn Valley Park. And then those dates will be May 4th to May 7th. And we have here a special guest, the legendary Miss Donna Bowley. She'd like to say a few words.
Just a few. As he said, this is our third year for it. Last year was very successful. We had about 50 artists registered from everywhere from Texas to Illinois attended. This year, we already have someone from Denver who signed up. That's a first for us. The artists that participated last year and submitted artwork, which was over 100 pieces, 43% of the artists had artwork sell. So the artists themselves took home about $8,000, including the awards, and then the Conservancy made enough money to pay for the event. So this year, as we said, is May 4th through the 7th. The fourth night is a welcome for the artists, which will be at One Park Place. They're always a host for us. It's a great place because it overlooks the park. The 5th will be a quick paint that evening at the Scout area. The 6th will be a quick paint on the north lawn of Liberty Memorial. We expect a lot of people to be at that one because that will be tied in with the opening of the streetcar. So we might expect, we have about 25 or 35 artists painting, that will have a lot of people show up to watch them paint. And then Saturday morning will be the quick paint in the Lake Valley. They like to do an early morning, so that's like 7 to 9 in the morning is the quick paint. And then Saturday night will be the opening reception at Buttonwood Place, which is a very good sponsor for us.
How many participants do you anticipate this year?
At least 50.
At least 50 again.
At
Okay.
least 50 participants, and then we're expecting a lot more for the opening and for the first Friday, which will be June, the first weekend in June.
Great.
And we already have a food truck lined up for that, so we expect to draw at least 300 people. Well, this is about the only art event where people in Kansas City can buy an original piece of art of the most iconic structures in Kansas City plus downtown. So we've got the Liberty Memorial, the Scout, the Pioneer Mother, and you've got Union Station and the views of downtown. So if anybody wants, they could support the local community and have views of Kansas City, this is the place to see the artwork.
Thank you for all that you do
Yeah,
and
this is
Conservancy for
exciting.
taking
Thank you.
care of Penn Valley Park. We appreciate it.
We're starting our 6th year.
Absolutely. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Donna.
Any other questions? Hearing none, do I hear a motion for approval of a resolution number 30605?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Donna. Okay. Considering board approval for agreement with Northeast Arts Kansas City for Chalk Walk on the concourse.
Terrence?
All right, Commissioners, this is the 9th annual Chalk Walk to take place on April 23rd to 24th at the concourse. We have here today Ms. Rebecca Coop, and she has some handouts to give you as well. I'll help her out with that.
Great.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Myself, Northeast Arts, our board members, and our community, it's spring, so it's time for Chalk Walk at the Concourse Park. So we're all excited for it, and spring looks really wonderful this year. It came early. So hopefully we got all of our rain out of the way, at least. This is not going to happen during an event, because we prefer the dry events. When we've got a good day, a sunny day, we get at least 300 people a day out there. So about 60 artists normally appear. Those are ones that either send in an application early with the drawing, or they show up that day with the drawing. So we give those squares, different size squares, 3x4s, 4x6s, and then we try to have on the four corners of the inside of the fountain, which of course is turned off at that time. Those are our larger squares, so we already have those artists lined up. So those are kind of our feature corner artists. We'll have some other activities going on, and we'll have kites if the weather is good again for that. We're going to have a gal with bubbles. Stone Lion Puppet's going to be there both days, so we got stuff for both young and old. You can picnic during the afternoon. We've got some great sponsors this year again. They've been very loyal to us. Cosentino's gives us snacks and fruits and healthy snacks for our artists and some of our guests that are there, so we like to say we feed and water them quite well. We don't pay the artists, they're coming for fun, it's all volunteer. So it's a really lovely event. It's a wonderful park to have this type of event. I mean, where else can you have clean concrete as a canvas for art? It's not on the streets, it's not on bricks, it's not on asphalt. We got your clean concrete, and we thank you very much for that. We give all of our artists professional chalk, and I'm going to leave a set with you all, so you can fight over who's going to get this professional chalk later on. But, I'm hoping for whose grandchildren are going to get these.
Yeah, that's going to be, probably, that might be Amber's.
Now, of course, you can come, and you will get a...
He's in the neighborhood.
We're the neighborhood.
If you come to draw, you will get some of that chalk, so... If you don't get this box, come and see us. We'll arrange it for you.
Go practice on your own.
That's right. But I'm open for any questions. This is our 9th year. We've had a great time out there. One year we did do it on the sidewalks around the museum. And we thought we'd do that. It was kind of going out in the changeover, and now Parks has it. And we're really happy that Parks and Recreations is running the Kansas City Museum, and Anna Marie Tutera is wonderful.
She's amazing.
Great.
So,
We agree.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's a
Okay.
really good event.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Do I hear a motion for approval of resolution number 30606?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Considering board approval of an agreement with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Kansas City for Fiesta Kansas City 2016.
Okay, Terrence, one more. And maybe you also have another guest, right?
Yes, Commissioners, what we have before you right now is the use of Grand Boulevard between Pershing and 25th for Fiesta Kansas City, which is their 17th year having this event. And we have here today Mr. Carlos Gomez. I'd like to say a few words. Sure. Thank you.
Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Yes, Fiesta Kansas City, Father's Day weekend. Enrique Gutierrez wants to apologize. We're very thankful that we have over 300 volunteers. He owns a restaurant, and at the last minute got really, really busy, so unfortunately he could not be here. But thanks to those volunteers, this event goes on. It's the Fiesta. We attract over 40,000 people. It is the largest Fiesta not only in Kansas City, but in the Midwest. We are now seeing people come as far away as Des Moines, Garden City, Little Rock, coming to Kansas City. That's why we changed the name about 5 years ago from Fiesta in the Heartland to Fiesta Kansas City. We wanted to make this a pointed destination, also to bring in tourism dollars and bring more money into the economy for all of Kansas City. We have an artisan area too. We have 30 Hispanic artists called Bellas Artes. We have a children's corner. We have great partnerships with Matty Rhodes, KPRS. Last year brought in Grammy Award-winning Daz Band, and they're bringing in another Grammy Award-winning band this year. So we're even diversifying our entertainment and looking to have another great Fiesta, weather permitting. June's always unpredictable in weather, so.
Okay.
Great.
That's great. Anytime we can bring 50,000 people downtown, it's wonderful.
real. Oh, yeah.
Really appreciate that. Any other questions?
Will the artists have the art for sale? Will people be able to purchase it from?
Yes, we do. We definitely allow them to sell their art in this area, and we have a big tent. We're also doing some live demonstrations, and we're also featuring art that's not just painting. We're actually having other types of art.
Sure.
So
Sculptures. That's awesome.
we want to encourage. The art actually brought another depth to our Fiesta, and that was one of the things we added about four years ago. We have great food, great entertainment, but the art just add another perspective of the community and allows people to learn from each other.
For sure.
Okay, great.
I'm excited.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution number 30607. Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Considering board approval amendment number 1 of ambiance on the water.
Yes, Commissioners, you have a memo in your packet for Terry, and she's going to stand to the podium and answer any questions you might have about, actually a long-term agreement we've been working with Chris Sperry, who's the owner of this company, for about 10 years now.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is just exercising our option to extend this for 1 year. This is a 7-month, doesn't run during the winter operation. And last year, we received about $5,800 in compensation.
Any other questions?
So so the original agreement was in 2005?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, it
And,
started 10 years ago.
and so these are the 5 years, so what are we on within the 5 years? Are we,
Yeah, this is the original was in 2005.
Right.
But it was renewed in,
Right, in
I
10.
think, 10.
and then 15?
And this is the
So this
last
is
year,
the,
yeah.
oh, this is the last year of the
Right.
the last one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's in chunky after you.
Okay.
So, in essence, evaluated.
Mhm. Okay.
All right, any other questions? If not, can I hear a motion for approval of resolution number 30608?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're going to table resolution number 30609, amendment number 2 with organic gardens for this period. And I'm going to take resolutions number 10, or items number 10 on the docket through number 19, which address Mayor's Night and Night Kicks for this summer. They are comparable to last year. Do you think I should read the titles of each of them
Yeah.
as we do that? Okay.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to ask Roosevelt to come to the podium to answer any, maybe
Sure.
even, and Esther may want to help him do this too at the same time. Give maybe just a quick overview of what these programs are all about.
Sure. So this is our 4th year of Club KC. Over the last 3 years, we've seen approximately 30,000 or so visits from youth, middle school, and high school at a number of our sites across the city. This year, we took in 9 proposals, and we actually funded 8 of those. So we have a number of different partners, some of them returning, like Boys and Girls Club, Arts Tech, and a new site this year is actually Matty Road. So we're really excited to work with them this year on this project. It obviously gives kids something to do throughout the summer on Fridays and Saturday nights from as early as 7 p.m. all the way until midnight or a little after midnight. Middle school and high school kids. So every weekend of the summer for 13 weeks, we will have something for them to do, someplace for them to go. KCPD has been our partner from the very beginning, and they show up and they have a pretty strong police presence at all of our events. Probably one of the biggest benefits of this program has actually been that relationship building between KCPD and our youth. They get to see police officers in a different capacity and building that relationship. So we'll continue to do that. This year, we're actually trying to balance a little more. We've always been able to throw some pretty big parties, which is always exciting. The kids love that. But we're also trying to balance a little more structured programming as well, so the kids can come and get some more enrichment. So we have some dance classes, some dance instruction actually, hip hop dance instruction. So for those kids that want to learn actually how to dance better. We have some art instruction, so we're working with Arts Tech and their Urban Canvas initiative, which they're bringing some art mentors on Saturday nights at Brush Creek, and they actually teach the kids and teach them how to paint and do some artwork and refine those skills. Last year, they put some of those paintings up on some abandoned buildings, on some plywood. So, and they also have some funding from I'm trying to remember the organization. Can't remember. Yeah. So we have some pretty good programming. I think we have a pretty good balance right now of some structured programming along with some kind of free time and partying for the kids. So there's a little something for everybody here. Some STEAM projects as well. So we're excited about this year.
Any questions? Okay, I'm going to read through these. These are resolutions 30610 through 30619 are with Art Techs, the Atkins Group, KC Hoop, Kansas City Public Library, Mary L. Kelly Center, Matty Road Center, Boys and Girls Clubs, and Guadalupe Center for Mayor's Nights and Club KC. Guadalupe Center and Matty Rhodes for Mayor's Night Kicks. Do I hear a motion for approval of resolutions number 30610 through 30619?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, considering board approval of amendment number 5 with Cohen and Partners for Washington Square Park design.
Yes, Commissioners, you have a memo in your packet from Travis, and this is continuation with the Cohen Partners for our collaborative efforts, working with Union Station and the Downtown Council on the development of Washington Square Park. The specifics are spelled out in the memo. Recommend approval, and again, if you have any questions, Travis is here to answer those.
I think probably for the record, Travis, you ought to give us a little presentation on it, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This amendment is basically a follow-up to the presentation you had pre-board by Jimmy Lossing and Doug Stockman as far as what they gave you a background as far as what's happened to date and some of what's going to occur in the future. This amendment number 5 is for additional programming study. Jimmy had pointed out some of those areas that they're looking at and how to develop the edge of the park in the center of that site and how to define that. Also digital renderings and then presentations to the stakeholders and downtown council on this. It's a $90,000 amendment.
Any other questions, observations?
It's a very exciting project.
I think this is a one-of-a-kind, unique park for the city of Kansas City, Missouri. It's in the center city where all of the entertainment venues are. It's a connectivity, and I think it'll be the wheel that'll really develop the things that are happening in the crossroads, Grand Boulevard, Liberty Memorial, Union Station, all of those things. I think it's a project that's probably long overdue in this city, and it'll put us on the map for having a major center city park. With that being said, is there a resolution to approve resolution number 30620?
So moved.
And seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Considering board approval for gifts and contributions.
Yes, Commissioners, 6 gifts. Recommend approval.
We hear a motion for approval of 30621.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Director's report.
Travis.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. What you have before you is a brief on the Tiffany Hills Sports Shade project. This was a project managed by Frank Gibbs. It installed shade structures at the 2 wheels that are up there, so a total of 16 of these structures, 2 at each field. And so what won't be covered in shade will be the center bleacher directly behind home plate. So the bleachers on either side of the field are covered, and that's shown in the subsequent photographs. There's a lot of projects going on up at Tiffany Hills. If you can see in the aerial shot, just north of the parking lot along Congress is the location of the new Variety Playground that's being constructed up there. So a lot of things happening up there right now. Shade structures were put in time for KC Sports to get their spring tournament in. So, any questions?
Looks good.
Thank you.
It's great.
Okay, Heidi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I put a stack of stuff in front of you. The first thing I wanted to go over was the Parks and Recreation user survey that we sent out to our database and posted on our social media sites through the months of January and February. We have them completed and the answers compiled. I know you got them in your packet. The copies I have here in front of you also do include the comments, so that'll give you a lot of interesting reading. But I'm just going to go over some of the highlights. These are very similar to the results that we've had for the last 3 years, and also in front of you is a list or comparing the answers from 24, 15, and 16, so you can see some of the variations and changes that have happened over the years. Like I said, nothing too surprising or too significant, but we did have 563 surveys completed, and as always, our questions are similar each year. We added, I think, 4 new ones this year, but they are consistent with those that go out on the city auditors or city managers survey that goes out for citizen satisfaction. So we want to keep them the same and see if our answers are similar to the people who actually use our facilities versus people who are just receiving a survey in the mail. So the first question is, how often did you or your members visit Kansas City, Missouri parks or facilities? And the tallest or biggest answer was 30.27%. Visited at least a few times a month. The second answer was at least once a week at about 25%. Second question is, did you visit more often or less often than you did from the previous year? And about 50% of them said it was about the same. We had 7% that said that they did visit more often in 2015 than they had in 2014, so that's a good substantial increase, I guess. And if you visited more often, what is the reason? And I like this answer because the top reason was 41% said they were better informed about parks, events, facilities, and amenities. And that is actually in the year previous, it was 27% of the people who said they were better informed, so that kind of jumped up, which means they're paying attention, which is terrific. Some of the other reasons here you'll see in the comments were a lot of people got a dog, so they were going more to the parks, or got kids or grandkids, and then other people had moved closer to the park, so they tended to visit it more often than the previous year. Question 4 is what KC Parks operated facilities or amenities do you visit most often? The top one has been for many years the zoo, and it is again. People love our exercise trails to get out to there. Of course, Starlight Theater, World War I Museum, the fountains and the monuments. Community centers and fitness centers were at, what was it, 25.72% this year, which jumped from 15% in 2015. So that was another good number to see, a good increase. So then you'll see in the answers here just some of the places that people go. They name kind of specific parks that they do like to visit or frequent, or reasons that they are coming to our facilities. Bike trails and walking trails, even though that was an answer, seemed to be something they like to comment on. Okay, then the next one is, on average, when you visit a KC Parks facility or park, how long do you stay? And the top answer was between 1 and 2 hours, and that was 43.5% of people who did that. People come to golf, people come just to hang out, they come for events, so it's interesting to see what they're doing and how long they're just hanging out in our parks. Question 6 is, overall, how satisfied are you with Kansas City, Missouri Parks and Recreation? And 84% of the people were satisfied or very satisfied, which is right in line with what it's been in the previous few years. Question 7 is, how satisfied are you with the maintenance of city parks? And 74% were satisfied or very satisfied, which again is right in line with what it has been. How satisfied are you with the maintenance of boulevards and parkways? Over 50% are satisfied, so that's a good thing. 16% are very satisfied. Question 9, how satisfied are you with the maintenance and appearance of community centers? And 45% are satisfied, and about 13% are very satisfied. So that's the majority of people are the top end of that satisfaction scale. Then we go on to ask about the outdoor athletic fields. And about 50% of the people kind of felt neutral about the quality of our outdoor athletic fields, but then we had another 40-something% who were satisfied or very satisfied. And again, I think that's in keeping with what we have previously had. The next question is, how satisfied are you with the quality of picnic shelters in the parks? And 46% of the people were satisfied, and 8.5% were very satisfied. For about 39% were neutral. Then we get on to quality of playgrounds in the parks and how satisfied you are with those. And 56% of the people, or those surveyed, were satisfied or very satisfied with the number of playgrounds, or quality, excuse me, of playgrounds in the parks. Walking and biking trails. How satisfied are you with the walking and biking trails? The top answer was almost 43% that were satisfied, and then we had about 26.7% who felt neutral about the walking and biking trails in the city. I think you'll see back at the very last question when there's a lot of ability for people to comment, they talk a lot about the trails. Customer service, this is a good one. 36.71% were satisfied with the quality of customer service from Kansas City Parks employees, and 23.7% were very satisfied with the customer service quality. Question 15 is a new one for this year. We added, how satisfied are you with the programs and activities offered at Kansas City Parks Community Centers? I think it was just worded differently to be more in line with the city survey this year, but again, we have over 50% who are satisfied or very satisfied with the programs and activities offered at our community centers. Now here we are with the pools, the city swimming pools and programs, and how satisfied are you with those? This year, that fell a little bit. We had 28% that were satisfied or very satisfied. In 2015, 43% were satisfied or very satisfied with the pool programming.
But they went to neutral.
Yeah. So it all balances out, I guess, to remain about the same. How satisfied are you with the city's youth programs? 20% were satisfied, 5% very satisfied. Neutrals, 66%. So 25% of people were satisfied or very satisfied. All right, then, here's where you can get some interesting answers on what additional activities would you like to see offered for youth. So you can kind of go through that, and it's always just more, and more of everything. And I find it interesting that a lot of people said something about senior programming when we asked specifically about youth programming, but
That's what I thought, because the society is aging, and that a lot of it's neutral. They don't participate in the youth programs. That's why a lot of that's probably.
We took out the non-applicable
Did
answer.
we get anything in the comments about that less than 1 or less than 2% that are very dissatisfied? Who they are? Do we have any indication?
No, I mean, I can probably go through and figure out via their email who's the very dissatisfied people.
Kind of like to get an idea, you know. I think it's people that are just mad, you know, but again, if they've got a real, and it seems to be about the same percentage all the way through, it's under 3% all the time, and it's usually under 1%, so it's not a big thing. It's somebody that's got an issue, so, you know, maybe we can find out what that is.
Yeah, I can delve deeper into that and see. But yeah, like I said, that last question, and everything else here is very similar, and like I said, you can look at this other page on your own and see any significant changes from, you know, year to year, which they're minimal. But yes, there's about, what, 5 or 6, no, more than that, pages of just comments in general about Kansas City, Missouri Parks and Recreation, and those are all over the board. And if someone's really dissatisfied, this is where they tell you.
Okay.
So you can take a look at that.
I did notice that I was looking at the age groups that did it, and like Dave was saying, it's, I can understand why they're so neutral on the youth programs, because most everybody that was
older.
taking it, can't find it here, age group here.
Very
Yeah,
last.
so I mean, only,
Well, we had 1% that was 11 to 19.
less than
and-
20% were actually
Yeah.
40 and younger.
Correct. Now, a lot of these are parents or moms
Okay.
that are taking it
Right.
on behalf of their children. I mean, that's who we tend to target, because they're the ones who are the decision
Right.
makers for the family, and they're
Okay.
the ones who
So that's-
sign up. So I would just hope that they would answer that for
Yeah,
their kids.
that's a good
but,
point. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah. So anyway, it's always interesting information, and we share it with our staff and you know, try to make amends and changes and follow up, and I will look into the very dissatisfied and see what we can do about that. Other than that, in front of you, you'll see a copy of the year in review, or printed copy of the year in review, which are available now if you want to take a stack.
Looks good.
Yeah, if you want to take some and hand them out, we have a bunch of them. Carmen's going to send them out to all of our partners as well. They usually get them. And then we have a big calendar of events for this month. As you know, Friday is finally, we've been talking about it for months, the opening of the Go Ape High Adventures course in Camp Lake of the Woods, and that is at noon. And I think I have, you're coming but not going to go through the course?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Oh, that is strong no.
I'm going private.
You're going on the course.
I'm iffy now. Well, something's come up.
Oh, okay. You haven't looked at it.
I'm going to try to get there.
Mark's going.
Well, Mark's doing it, yeah.
What time again?
I'm coming.
Are you going through the course?
I'm going to look at it first.
What time
I'm
is
going to
it?
see what
It's
might
a
kill me.
noon.
I'm dying from all you people. I'm like dying private.
Well, I know Jean Paul's going to be there.
He's so good at
They have
it.
insurance.
I have insurance. Yeah.
insurance.
You
Yeah, I
could
just-
actually, you know,
I
you could just
went and bought an
do.
accident policy, so I'll probably participate.
You can just do the first station, which is actually really low to the ground because it just kind of shows you what you need to
Oh,
do
really?
with taller stations. So that might be something that you can just kind of ease yourself into.
Carmen, you're
Yeah.
invited.
Absolutely invited, yes.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it? Well, no, well, hang
Wow.
on. Carmen's going to do it. Okay.
Well, the actual ribbon cutting and announcements is at noon.
Perfect.
And then the first group of people will get to go through at 12:30, and then they just kind of stagger them out for the rest of the afternoon. So you'll get an assignment, your assigned times, you will all be at 12:30.
This is so cool.
And then shortly after that, next Tuesday, well, a week from today is the best day ever. Well, I guess I can't say that anymore. The Royals haven't won the World Series. Today is the best day ever. 1 week from today will be the second best day with Fountain Day, and we are going to have that at Volker Fountain in Tice Park. And
Where's a
that's
good place to park?
in the Kaufman Center, the Kaufman Gardens.
Kaufman
Yeah,
Gardens.
we've got permission from them, so you guys can park over there and then just kind of stroll on over.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And we have golf carts if you want to be carted from the parking lot to the stage. But everything will the ceremony will take place on the Wheeler Amphitheater there along the creek with the wall fountain as the backdrop. So we'll have our program. And then, as you know, we are kicking off our new fountain fundraising event called the Feast of Fountains at that time. So we'll have some food trucks there so you can stick around and eat some lunch. And then those will begin monthly in May. And the schedule's on your calendar here as well for that. The Urban Youth Academy groundbreaking at Parade Park is scheduled for the 18th, tentatively now at 2 o'clock. Apparently that time could change. We'll let you know. Then we have Discover Day, which is at our Kansas City Parks Community Centers, and that's free activities and admissions, so people can kind of get a taste of the programming for spring and summer that we're offering at our community centers. 3 of the 10 centers will be open doing Discover Day activities, and that's Greg Clyce Southeast and Line Creek Community Center. And then we get into Arbor Day and Earth Day events with the tree planting at Luce Park. And then on the 30th, we have an event along the Indian Creek Trail. That's a cleanup. This April 26th event, which is the Central Park Kayak event for improvements to their ball fields, is scheduled now at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then possibly on the next day, April the 27th, it's still tentative. In the evening, we will have the lighting for the Waldo Water Tower in Tower Park, where we're going to light it blue for the Royals. And then you can see the other stuff here.
Watson's at 11.
And there's
Is the Watson at 11? 10,
Watson
11.
from 11 to 1.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, I think the actual opening ceremony will be at 11. And then in between, we have a couple of kind of tentative groundbreakings and other ribbon cuttings that we might be doing, which just watch for Carmen to let you know. But it's a busy, busy month. And then, of course, at the bottom, you'll see our social and website numbers, and those just continue to increase. pretty significantly. Our website visits are back up again now that we're getting into season. And then our social media numbers, we always get 100 to 200 additional followers in each of the mediums every month. And next month, I think you'll really see some increases in our social media because we are actually doing some boosting on social media to promote our summer camps and the Discover Day. So we're getting a lot more likes and follows.
Okay. I retweet as much as I can.
And I appreciate that.
I like everything. It's
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't see anything for public comment. With that being said,
The
we
calendar
do?
review. Oh, we do.
I know, Terrence, did you want to make some comments?
Yes, I did.
No,
Since I-
please.
Yeah.
Terrence Nash, 11022 Washington. I want to first thank you for holding the resolution on the KC Organics issue. And I'm with Friends of Red Bridge, and we've been involved with many issues on Red Bridge Road for a long time. What our issue is with this is that parks are not zoned for commercial use, for continuous commercial use. And this is a weekly sale every Saturday from April to the end of October, I believe it is. And one of the, I didn't even know that they wanted to go throughout the year. So that is another kind of issue that we're going to have a year-round possible business on parks property. We don't have any problem with a unique event that has commercial use on public land, like I said, the Penn Valley concerts and different other things. But we have a Red Bridge Shopping Center, and previously that was the bigger problem out in South Kansas City, along where I live. I live right down the street from Red Bridge Shopping Center in Minor Park. So I always said, well, we got bigger problems than this here. So now that we've resolved Red Bridge Shopping Center, we believe that that is zoned for commercial use and it's being redeveloped. So if they're needing to expand for the whole year, they need to go to a area that's zoned for commercial use. The other issue is the sign that they have out there. It's a pole there. It's like a V with three 4x4s in the ground with their KC Organics like a V, so you can see it coming from the east and the west. Well, pole signs are totally illegal in the city. Only monument signs are code. And other people, neighborhood people says, well, why does the Parks Department on a boulevard allow a pole sign, a permanent pole sign for 6 months of the year, and the poles are out there all winter long, and now, because then they just go and screw their sign back on, why do they get a sign when we're trying to get everybody else to, other businesses to convert to monument signs and other signs, especially this is on a boulevard. One other point is that the neighbors have pointed out to me that there's a code regulation that they can only have a garage sale 3 times a year or a certain number of times a year, and we're allowing this group of people to have for 6 months a business for 6 months. I know we aren't against organic produce, and there is a vegetable market that's out in front of Burbelia and Price Chopper down 103rd and State Line, and it opens up in April 1st and goes till November 1st, and I don't know if they can make something work with them. They could work with Red Bridge Shopping Center. They have a CID to make some. They've got a lot of vacant space up there, so there should be some opportunity there. And when we gave all these tax incentives to Red Bridge Shopping Center, Councilwoman Heather Hall said when redevelopment incentives were given, encourage Lane Ford to promote local small businesses at Red Bridge Shopping Center. So, I mean, this is should be a perfect fit. And that's where we come from, is it's a zoning issue to us. And we just think that we need to, they've grown their business, and now they need to look for a commercial area. Thank you very much for your time again.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate
your
it.
time. Sure.
All right, any other comments? Hearing none, we're adjourned.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Thank you.